Ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tashmai Shri Guruve Namah. Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri remains an eternal guru for me forever. It will not be exaggeration to say that whatever RGU is today, it is due to MKC sir. I have a lot of anecdotes to connect and tell you many of the stories, but today we have a appointed speaker who will be speaking on Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri. Yet I will like to share some of my stories associated with him. And of course, I'll read out a written note on this occasion, which courtesy DCOM Bhuya, as I was very tightly placed in last couple of days, so I told him to make a written speech. But before that, to start with a sloka, ekenapi suvrikshena puspitena sugandhina vasitam tadvanam sarvam suputrena kulam yatha. जिस तरह से एक सुगंधित पुष्प का वृक्ष पूरे वन को सुगंधित कर देता है और एक सुपुत्र पूरे परिवार को सुशोभित कर देता है, उसी तरह है एवं एकस्य विद्वान जनस्य प्रयत्नेन विद्याधाम प्रतिष्ठितम भवति. उसी तरह एक विद्वान ज्ञानी पुरुष के प्रयत्नों से एक विद्याधाम, एक विद्या मंदिर, एक शिक्षा प्रतिष्ठान बनती है. और इस आरजीयू नामक शिक्षा अनुष्ठान को बनाने में प्रोफेसर मिहिर कांति चौधरी का अपूर्ण सहयोग रहा है, अतुलनीय सहयोग रहा है. I am a strong believer in destiny. I believe that whatever happens is destined to happen. And my meeting way back in 2008 with Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri was also a part of the destiny in the making, the RGU in the making. One of my friends from Tezpur told me that one scholar from Delhi is coming to Tezpur University. He was then the Vice Chancellor of the Tezpur University, and from airport, I will request him to come to your campus. Campus means a barren land here, no boundary wall, nothing, just a barren land. And I was just in the process, the idea was conceived that we will come up with an institution of a very small scale. And believe me, with those ideas, wherever we went to open an MBA school, a business school, a BBA school, or a BCom school, college for that matter, people loved it. With the kind of imagination we had, a world-class infrastructure. We went to Guwahati University, met Professor Yuardhar through Pradeep Jainji. He also surprised this young man. At that time, I was 45 years old. How can he think of? He's very over-ambitious. This kind of infrastructure, this kind of amount of investment in Guwahati, unbelievable. One man who did not laugh at us, who did not laugh at us, rather encouraged me to go beyond. I was planning for a business school. He encouraged me not to limit my vision to a business school, rather go for engineering college. So I went to airport, received him, brought to this barren land, and told him, sir, this is my plan. And I took him to my home for a lunch, and history began from there. And he advised me, why you limit your idea to open a business school? Why not an engineering college? I said, sir, I do not have 5 acres of land, which is the minimum requirement of the land. Mistakenly, he told me that in hill areas, it is done even if the land is less than 5 acres. Though Guwahati is not a hill area, it is a plain. That mistake helped me bring engineering college. I had just few kathas of land less than 5 acres. I started my process of making it full 5 acres. And as people say, when your mission is great and you do with the honesty, the whole universe conspired to help you, and that happened. We got that 2 kathas of land from some of my friends, and we planned for engineering college. So this is how we started this engineering college, and then of course eventually university. So it was Professor M.K. Chaudhuri sir who had been our fatherly figure. Let me also narrate you one more thing. Last year, I was in US and I visited around 6-7 universities, including Stanford and University of Berkeley. Two very important things which I will like to mention about Berkeley University. One of the alumni told me to visit Berkeley, and he told me that there is a parking space, car parking space reserved for Nobel laureates. I was surprised. Car parking reserved for Nobel laureates on a campus is a big thing. So when I entered the campus, I was looking for that space, and by chance, at my entry point, I got that space. Nobel laureates. So that was just to mention about the car parking space. I wish this campus will have sometime car parking reserved for distinguished academicians. More than that, I visited the library of the university. On my way to library, from far off, I noticed a plaque on the top of which there was a signage, Builders of Berkeley. Since I am from real estate, I was excited to see who must have built this building of the Berkeley. Let me go close to that plaque and see the name of the company who might have built this buildings of this hundreds of years old Berkeley University. To my utter surprise, when I went close to the plaque, I found the list of the scholars, Nobel laureates. Oh my God, I didn't mind confessing that my idea was to find the name of the builder of the building, but it is in fact the names of the builders of the institution. From there only, I sent the photograph of that plaque to Ankur, my son, and said, Ankur, we should have a similar plaque in Royal Global University. And when Royal Global University will have this plaque, the name of Professor M.K. Chaudhuri will be on the top of that plaque. He was so friendly, he used to treat me like a son. I really miss somebody from you academicians addressing me as Ashok. He was the only person, and of course Professor Dam, who used to be my professor in Guwahati Commerce College, used to tell me, Ashok, I request Dr. Amar Chaudhuri sir, Dhruva Boda sir, please tell me Ashok. I miss that name when he addressed me, Ashok, you have to do this. He was like a guardian. Every board meeting he will attend, wait for his opportunity to advise at the end, and he will never mind, because he is a man who will call a spade a spade. My VC used to be on his toes, because he knows that it is Professor Mihir Chaudhuri. He will come at the last and will tell the do's and not to do. So really we miss a great person like Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri. As I said, we have a lot of things to share, but because of the paucity of time and because there is a appointed speaker, I will not take much time else than reading this written speech about him. Yeah, Nandrani, I acknowledge your presence today. Please convey my regards to Mrs. Chaudhuri. Ladies and gentlemen, today we come together not merely to begin a symposium, but to honor a legacy, one that continues to guide us, inspire us, and shape the intellectual character of this university. Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri Memorial Science Symposium stands as a tribute to the man whose life was devoted to science, to education, and to the pursuit of truth. Professor Mihir Kanti Chaudhuri was a celebrated scientist. His pioneering contributions in chemistry earned him international recognition. But his greatest impact lay in the countless young minds he nurtured, mentored, and motivated. He believed deeply that science is more than knowledge, science is curiosity, science is courage, science is resilience, and science is responsibility. For us at Royal Global University, Professor Chaudhuri was far more than an eminent academic. He was a guide, a mentor, and a well-wisher whose wisdom shaped many crucial decisions in our journey from the very first day. I had the personal privilege of sharing a close bond with him, one built on mutual respect and shared dream for the future of higher education in Northeast. His counsel was invaluable from the days when Royal Group of Institutions was still finding its footing, to the moment when it is transformed into a full-fledged university. Behind that transformation stood his guidance, his clarity of vision, and his unwavering belief in what Royal Global University would become. Even in moments of uncertainty, moments of challenges, moments of crisis, his words brought direction. His presence brought immense strength. Today, as we inaugurate this memorial oration in his honor, we celebrate not only his scholarly ideas, but also the spirit with which he approached life. Gentle, insightful, generous, and deeply committed to nurturing young talent. This oration and academic initiative named after him at our university are not symbolic gesture. They are living spaces where his ideals breathe and strive. Each session, each debate in this university echoes his belief that science progresses only when we question fearlessly and explore courageously. The gathering bringing together researchers, this gathering bringing together researchers, faculty, students, and thought leaders reflects precisely what Professor Chaudhuri championed: intellectual dialogue, collaborative discovery, and the joy of scientific inquiry. He would have been delighted to see young scholars engaging with ideas, challenging boundaries, and aspiring to contribute meaningful to society through science. As Chancellor and as someone who was fortunate to seek his advice regularly, not just for the growth of the university, but often for life itself, I stand here with deep gratitude. Gratitude for his friendship, his mentorship, and the gentle brilliance that continues to illuminate the corridors of Royal Global University. Let this memorial lecture reaffirm our commitment to excellence. Let it remind us that great institutions are built by great minds, and that Professor M.K. Chaudhuri will forever remain one of the brightest stars in the constellation of Royal Global University. Thank you all for being here. Let the conversation begin, let the ideas flow, and let his legacy continue to inspire us for generations to come. Thank you very much.